Welcome to my YouTube channel. This channel is dedicated to the Georgia PTA State Reflections program. I am your Georgia PTA State Reflections Chair, Angie Dover. And if you ever have any questions or you need any help with your program, please contact me. My email address is reflections@Georgia, spell out the whole word, PTA.org. This video is going to be dedicated to the information about the judging rubric and the checklist, but you'll notice on this channel there are other videos that go over different topics of this program. They give more specific details about those areas of the program. So this one, I'm going to start with the leader's checklist. I love this checklist because I think it is so helpful. It gives you all the steps of the program and what you should be doing in those steps. You can use this for local units or for council level or regions or areas. But again, it is an actual checklist, and you'll see it starts from the beginning. Step 1, getting started. What should you do to get started? Step 2, how do you promote? Step 3, it goes through all the steps, which I find super helpful in reminding you of things like, do you know how much money is in your budget? So that you know how much you can spend on your program. Do you have your dates down? When is your deadline at the school? When is your council deadline? That kind of stuff. Very important and very helpful. Like all the other things that we talk about, you can download this checklist from the Georgia PTA website. If you go under the Reflections tab, all these documents and flyers and forms are found there. The other thing I want to talk about in this video is the judging rubric. It's a 3-page packet, but I like to print it out as a 2-page packet. And so I put this one on the front and then the more detailed breakdown on the back of this page, and that's my first page. But you will see on the first page it has name, email, and phone number. That's your name, email, and phone number, so that if your judge has any questions, they can get in touch with you real easily. It will also have a breakdown of the points. Interpretation of theme, you will see, is the first thing to look at, and it gets the most points. So the entries must have a title, and they must have an artist statement, or they're pretty much automatically disqualified, because that is the biggest area where the points come from. Also on this rubric, the second page of it is broken down almost point by point on how to score the entries. That's another reason I love this rubric. A lot of times you're using teachers for your judges, and they are already using rubrics to grade your students' work, so they are very familiar with a rubric. I would also include with the judges packet a copy of the rules for that category. So for instance, if you are giving them the visual art pieces with this rubric, give them a copy of the visual art rules so that they can refer to that as well. For the Judges Scorecard, which is the last page of this packet, I like the horizontal one versus the vertical one. I just feel like there's more room to write on this one. You'll see up here at the top where it says the theme, and then it says date. Now where it says date, I like to put the dates that I need them back. So if I'm taking these to be judged by my literature judge, I will put up there at the top by the date, I need this back by Friday the 12th or whatever, so that they know how much time they have to judge the entries and when I'm expecting them back. If you are only putting one category on a page, then by all means list it up here, visual art, VA, whatever, so that it's clearly marked that this is for the visual art category, and that's what this goes with. Then the first section says division and arts category. So you put what grade it is, and please list it in order by grade, starting with pre-K and going on down, or if you're middle school, 6th grade starts, 9th grade for high school, whatever. And then if you're putting one category on a page, depending on how many entries you have, you can totally do that. I would, again, put the category at the top. The next thing it's looking for is title of the entry. Very important. If the student did not put a title, You can put Untitled as the title, but don't leave that blank because the judge needs to know what entry they're scoring in that section. So if a student forgot to title it or they just didn't put it on there, you can put Untitled as the title for that entry and then list it that way on the rubric. If the student is using the theme as their title, that's okay too. And you might have more than one student using that title. So for instance, if you had 3 students in the literature category for the 3rd grade that put Look Within as their title, what you would do is go on the actual student's entry and just mark them out as, Look Within A, Look Within B, Look Within C, and so forth. And then also when you're listing them on here under the title, again, you would put Look Within A, Look Within B, Look Within C, so that the judge knows what entry they're looking at. And then when you get it back, you know what entry you're looking at. The next part of this judging scorecard is where they actually put down how many points they got and then total it up here. That tells you which students are your top 2 students for that category and that grade that will be moving on to the next level. Now, if you are a local unit, the next level is going to be your council or your region or your area. If you're a council, region, or area, the next level is me, the state level, and the due date to the state is Friday, December 6th. Once you tally up your points or you look at the points, you want to pick 2 per category per grade, the top 2, to move on to the next level. You also want to have 2 more, or the next 2 behind those, to hold on to as your honorable mentions, or you can do 3rd and 4th place, however you want to do it at your school. In case something happens to those top 2 and they get disqualified, then you would need to put one of those in its place. So make sure you have at least 4, if you have that many entries picked out per grade, per category, so that you have 2 to move on to the next level and 2 to take their place if something happens and one of them gets disqualified. I hope you found this video helpful, and again, I hope you check out some of the other videos on this channel to give me more information about the Reflections program. But if you have any questions or you need any help, please contact me. My email address is reflections@Georgia, spelling out the whole word, PTA.org. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.